Hey, what is up guys, GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Brown Dust 2 video. Now if you guys are not aware, there's plenty of things happening this week. Alright, we got a major, massive patch coming, and that is going to be a very good one. So let's talk about what is happening in Brown Dust 2 this particular week. If you guys are not aware, big maintenance coming on Thursday. As you can see, this is going to be a 7 hours and 10 minutes maintenance. Now there's a chance that it could be even extended further, so keep that in mind, right? Make sure you guys finish everything, your dailies, your weeklies, or whatever thing that's going to be resetting before then. So plenty of things, like I mentioned, that will be happening. A bunch of free stuff they will be given out right here. Alright, so but I will focus on, in this particular video, we can only do so much, so let's just focus on the characters first, because I want to talk about that, because I believe that's going to be the most important aspect for a lot of the current returning players. But if you are new, I'll be making a separate video. So as you can see, this is the patch notes. They have introduced again the story. There are some of these stuff that will be having right there. You will be able to get one copy of swimsuit Justia for free, which is going to be this particular one, just by playing through the event. So don't worry about it too much, you're going to get at least one copy for free. However, if you want to pull for additional copies, you can. If you're looking to +5 her, I've already mentioned in the previous video, she's much more PvP focused, so there's going to be that, right? There's going to be my room improvements right here as well. I don't think there's anything that I need to talk about specifically in here, but you can see from one room now has expanded to 9 rooms. You can put more characters in there. I believe you can put up to 13 characters, is it? 20 characters, 9 carpets, 70 pieces of furniture. Now you can have more fun decorating accordingly, right? So you can see this is going to be the expansion cost etc. Now alongside with that, they are also going to prestige skin update. Yeah, so this is going to be where the things come, right? So you can see a pick selective draw. I will talk about this separately because this one is going to include the free tickets that you will get. So I believe I saw right here, they are giving out selective draw ticket 10, 20, 30, right? And then if you guys are not aware, there will be this new 12 pick selective draw, and then you can basically choose the characters that you want from there. That's going to be very important. I will need to do a separate guide for new players who are returning, who are looking to basically try to get this as well. Previously, you can only select 6 characters, and then there's another chance for you to get the other characters, right? So now you will never get other characters. All 12 that you select is going to be one of those. So I think it's a good thing in some situation. Now players will receive 1 new selective draw ticket for every 20 pulls made in the previous selective draw. So this is going to be what it is in the April 30th developer notes, right? So the 1 pick selective draw again allows you to choose a single 5-star costume to target. Now this is going to be again a new thing. It's better for me to show you when the update comes in the game, right? And a newbie pass improvements will also apply to the old players as well. So if you are returning players, that's going to be what it is. Plenty of characters to choose here. In my opinion, if you don't have Helena yet, I believe she is going to be the best choice, alright? Too bad there's no Liberta right here. So Helena should be the one that a lot of players should consider getting. Whether or not you plan to run a magic team is going to be a different story, but she is just going to be that flexible, right? There's a lot of DPS characters right here, but again, these are the choices. Homunculus data, I guess, is decent if you're looking to tackle Fiend Hunter in a physical team. But if you're new and you're lacking in support characters, probably Helena is going to make the most sense. Diana, you can already get 1 copy for free from the story, right? So that's going to be that as well. So yeah, let me scroll down. As you can see, some characters will be buffed right here. I will need to cover this separately. I don't want to make this video like 3 hours long or something, right? I think this is a lot of characters that are getting buffed, not just 1 or 2. There's like more than 20 characters here that are getting buffed, improved. I will definitely focus one video for that, but let me scroll down to the most important aspect, the new character. Alright, let's talk about Wilhelmina. So this is where things are going to get interesting. So Wilhelmina will have a new costume, the Water Park Queen Wilhelmina. So this is going to be her outfit, very good looking. So what is she all about? Previously, I thought she was just going to apply chain reinforcement to herself, similar to Barney Celia. But now you can see, things have come out. We got a much more detailed skill right here, right? So she's a 5 SP at +0, alright? So at +0, she's just going to apply chain reinforcement to yourself for 4 turns, attack the enemy 9 times, dealing physical damage equal to 45% of your attack per hit. So she becomes a 4 SP at +1. Now, if you have this particular Wilhelmina, but you don't have the other costume, how good is this, right? I would say it's probably not going to be that useful because this is a 3-turn cooldown. There's no way for you to reduce your cooldown. So you are only going to be able to use this skill, and then in the other turn you have to use normal attack, and then you can rotate back to this skill, but it's going to be how it is, right? However, I do think that this damage here is going to help her a little bit, right? So at +1, from 5 SP, she becomes 4 SP, way more usable. Would highly recommend you guys, if you can afford to, right? And you're trying to get her to an optimal stopping point for like newbies or beginners, get that 4 SP, get that +1. But for anyone who's a veteran player, you want to get more and more copies, I do highly recommend going for her. You can see 55% at +2, 65% at +3, +4 is 65%, and then increase to 6 turns. So the +4 is going to be even higher of a better rotation, alright? You basically use this one time and then you can use the other skill twice, right? So it's going to make more sense. And then at +5, it becomes 75%. So her skill potential is just increasing more damage. Excuse me. As you can see, 5%, 5%, 5%, right? So it's like you increase this to 90%. So how much damage is she doing compared to her base costume, right? For those of you who are not aware, the base costume for Wilhelmina, again, very, very strong character right here. I have her Awaken as well, maximum. Now, the previous costume, the default one, she is 3 SP and she can hit 12 times for 95%. Alright, 12 times 95%. This one is going to be 9 times 90%. So the default costume still does more, alright, and still have more chain overall. So this costume is going to act more like a complementary costume to the default costume. Alright, so this costume is not going to be the main one that does the more damage, right? But ideally, you get both of these. You now have the best single target DPS character in the game, right? So and I'm glad for that, because for the longest time, I remember in the previous situation when they first introduced the collab character Hikage, I think a lot of players were unhappy with that because Hikage was one of the character that she is unique, right? And she has this particular skill. And I think the developer saw that and was like, okay, a lot of new players that join in later, they cannot obtain Hikage anymore because she's a collab character. So I guess that's why partially they basically did the Demon Slayer collaboration with weaker characters. But now that Wilhelmina is here, with this particular costume, she's going to be the best single target character in the game. So highly recommend you guys, if you can, you have to get her, right? So she is going to be that particular one. Now, of course, for beginners, do you really need to rush to get her? Probably not, right? If you are new to the game, your objective should be the supporters first, alright? For most new players, right? The DPS characters are good and all, but again, at the end of the day, she's still a water type DPS character, so she will only be used in that situation where she has an advantage, right? So because we got water, fire, wind, light and dark, so in any other element, it still depends on the boss, right? In some situation, if the boss has like big weak spot and stuff, you are still going to need to try to do those other characters. I also noticed that she has a very unique tile range as well. One more character that you might also need to be able to make her work is going to be Zenith, alright? Because all of these characters, especially for a lot of physical characters, their major issue is going to be they can hit the most frontal, right? But Zenith is going to be able to switch that, because Zenith is a skip tile, alright, she's a vault, and she will be able to hit one tile behind, and she applies concentrated fire. So Wilhelmina can now hit that particular tile that Zenith focuses fire on, right? Concentrated fire on. So for a lot of new players, if you don't have Zenith, I do think that your Wilhelmina may sometimes, it depends on the situation, right? Still, it depends on the boss. If their weak tile is like hidden behind, you are still not going to be able to achieve her full effect or her full damage potential. So keep that in mind. So let's talk about the other character right here. Again, she has a weapon. I've talked about weapons before. A lot of people always ask me about the weapons. Please watch that video. I don't think weapons is worth it, especially if you are new. But Wilhelmina is really, really strong. And this weapon is a weapon slot. So you can consider that if you want to. But ideally, again, only consider weapon if you can +5 her. don't just +1 her and then go and pull for weapon, right? It's just not worth it because you can craft the UR weapons as well, right? So if you can +5 her, then you can consider this. Now let's talk about Bright Eclipse that everybody gets for free. All right, free to play, by the way. So everybody will be able to obtain this particular character. As you can see, very unique tile right here. Now this is a heart shape, very interesting. And I believe Eclipse is the first character that, even though it says skip, right? But she's hitting like 2 tiles back. It's a little bit weird. It's very, very unique, right? And I feel like this is going to make for a very interesting, I would say. Okay, where's the... Okay, what happened overall here? Yeah, she's going to make for a very interesting position, right, in the meta right now. So let's talk about Bright Eclipse here. What is she going to be able to do? As you can see, at +0, she's a 5 SP, 5 turns, and she does magic 350% of your magic attack. So not too bad right here. So at +1, you're going to get this, alright? Obviously, there's no need for me to talk about her stopping point because everybody gets her for free. So you are going to be able to get her up to this one, right? 550% of magic attack, 5 turns. So the strongest Eclipse costumes right now, right, the one that does the most damage is going to be this particular one. Let me see if I can find my Eclipse. She is a dark type. So this Eclipse currently, this is the one that does the most damage. Now this particular one is pretty insane. So you can see it's a 3x3 tile. She is going to attack the enemy 2 times, and then that means 450%, right? So if I were to calculate the tiles and damage and everything ratio accordingly, so she has a total of 8,100%, right? 450 times 2 times 9 tiles. So hopefully that makes sense, right? So as you can see, this is going to be the total multiplier that this particular costume can do. Extremely, extremely insane. Now what about this particular one, right? So it is only going to hit the enemy 1 time, alright, 550%. And it's just, so there's no chain right here, right? So however, it goes up even further. So this is going to be 600%, 625, right? So she is going to be 625. And then if you can hit every single enemy, so this is slightly more tiles, right? This is like, how many is this? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if you can somewhat hit all the enemy or all the bosses, she's going to do 6,875%. So it's still it's like somewhere in the middle, right? It's still not too bad. The only downside is this particular costume that we're getting, the Bright Eclipse, cannot you're not able to do chain, right? Now that being said though, I still feel like this is a very good addition for a lot of new players, alright? If you are looking to basically build a magic team, you have Dalby for free, alright, which you can claim, and then you get this Bright Eclipse. You sort of like have 2 solid DPS characters again. And then you pick Helena. You are always going to be able to have that starting magic team that can help you in a lot of team composition and can deal with a lot of things, right? So hopefully that makes a lot of sense. So with that, I do think that this is a good addition to the game. She's not too broken, being a free character. She's somewhat balanced, and she's not bad. Alright, very unique tile range. I'm not sure if that is going to be beneficial, but I can see in some situation, like in the Tower of Salvation, yeah, that could be like actually useful one, right? So the Dream Bright Eclipse costume is an event distribution costume, will not be added to the Powder of Hope shop or selective draw. So if you miss out on this, you are going to miss out on a lot of other things, right? So let's talk about the pool party just here then. So again, I understand the prestige skin, whatever, but let's talk about this base costume. This one you are going to be able to get. I think +3 is going to be a good stopping point if you are getting for the evasion and stuff. 1 SP right here, if you're looking to tackle PvP, right? Now if you want to go even further to +5, I perhaps am going to do that because I think she's a limited character, very, very strong. I do think that she's worth it, alright? She's definitely going to be worth it. As you can see, a lot of these things, especially the recover 6 SP for allies, if you use her, she's going to be very strong. But if not, you're just using her occasionally in PvP, you probably don't need to potential liberate her as well. Alright, she's a limited costume and won't be able to Powder of Hope or selective draw. And last but not least is going to be Tourist right here. So this is the one that I recommend pulling. If you can get this particular one, she is going to be a really good one, right? So at least +1 her if you can't afford to get. I know there's a lot of characters, but new players, you want to at least +1 her. At 3 SP, she's going to give you the augmentation. Actually, +3 would be better so that she has a better rotation, because it increased the 4 turns to 8 turns, even though the +1 is the SP reduction. So +3 is going to give you the longer lasting buff, which is going to make more sense in a lot of situations like Fiend Hunter and of course the guild raids, guild bosses as well. So that's going to be something to consider. Yeah, right now you can see all of this damage increase, right? Again, this is very important, especially if you're trying to tackle a lot of end game later on, considering that she is a limited costume as well and won't be added to the Powder of Hope shop. Make sure that you guys consider Therese. Alright, so she is going to be one of the better supporter right now. Now keep in mind, alright, out of all of these characters that were shown today, Wilhelmina is the only one that will be added to the Powder of Hope. Powder of Hope meaning that you can buy them using the Powder of Hope currency later on, and that is pretty much it, right? So everything else seems to be in line. Yeah, so don't overspend as well, because Refitia is going to come on June 26th, so that's going to be next week. So we might have something cool as well with Refitia being in the equation. She might be able to do something crazy as well. So I think she's also going to be a very strong one to consider as well, right? So again, plenty of issues are fixed. So yeah, that is going to be it for this particular video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think of the overall characters, specifically Wilhelmina and the Bright Eclipse. These are the 2 new ones. Are you guys happy with their skill kit? As per usual, subscribe, give this video a like. See you guys then in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.